MSNBC is set to host a town hall, a GOP town hall, and it's already been pre-taped. Now, even though the public hasn't seen the content of that town hall quite yet, we do have some news coming out of this pre-taped event. In fact, the news is leading to a lot of controversial comments on Twitter. Apparently, while Chris Matthews was talking to Donald Trump, the issue of abortion came up, and Donald Trump had some strong statements to make about what should happen to women should they get an abortion in the United States if abortion was outlawed. So at the taping of an MSNBC town hall to be aired Wednesday evening, host Chris Matthews pressed Trump on his anti-abortion position, repeatedly asking him whether abortion should be punished if it's outlawed. This is something you can dodge, okay? Now, Donald Trump responded with, look, people in certain parts of the Republican Party, conservative Republicans, would say yes, it should. He continued to say, I would say it's a very serious problem, and it's a problem we have to decide on. Are you going to send them to jail? And Chris Matthews basically looked at him and said, well, I'm asking you, would you send them to jail? And he says, I'm pro-life. Asked how a ban would actually work, Trump said, well, you go back to a position like they had where they would perhaps go to illegal places, but we have to ban it. All right. He also says there has to be some form of punishment, Trump said. For the women, Matthews asked? Yeah, Trump said, nodding. So, of course, this has led to a number of people on social media, including Planned Parenthood and other pro-choice organizations, coming forward and saying, really, you want to go back to that day and age in America where we're punishing women for getting abortions? But the reality is, in some red states, including Mississippi, we already are punishing women for miscarrying their babies or delivering stillborns. And what they do is they pass these so-called fetal harm laws that allow people to investigate the past histories of these women should they miscarry or have a stillborn. And if the woman ever had a history of drug abuse, well, then she can be prosecuted for allegedly murdering an unborn baby. That's the way that they word it. So we already have some insane draconian laws in this country pertaining to women. Trump would just make it worse.
Yeah, I feel like we're devolving, right?
Yeah.
Even though we've made great strides when it comes to women's rights. And yes, we have a long way to go, but hearing this makes my blood boil. I just love when old white dudes tell me what I need to do with my body, underscore my body, and as if the pain and the anguish isn't enough when a woman has to make that hard decision to have an abortion. Right now, she has to be jailed for it. Are you serious? Like you said, I feel like that we are in the Twilight Zone, or we're in a time capsule going back to the 1950s. And you can disagree. You can say, listen, I am pro-life. I can say I am pro-choice, and we can agree to disagree. But as soon as you tell me what I have to do with my body, that's when we have an issue.
And again, this is coming from the party that claims that they're for small government. They're only for small government when it comes to regulating corporations and taxing wealthy people. But they're not for small government when it comes to your personal life and your personal choices. Whether it's the types of drugs you want to use, whether it's the type of sex you want to have, the type of marriage you want to have. They want to get involved in every little minute detail of your personal life, and this is an example of that.
Now, let me play devil's advocate. And now I'm pro-choice. I love women. I have a son. I'm all about it. Now, I felt when I read this and I saw the video in the context that Chris Matthews, and we all know Chris Matthews, hardball, was going at him hard. He was baiting him to say that. They said, should it be banned? It's not banned. They wanted him to say something. They wanted it to be polarized. They wanted us to talk about exactly how, for their town hall, they wanted this publicity for everyone to tune in so they can see this whole thing and what Trump said. He baited them to saying that, and he said, if it's banned, so if they create any law that's banned, you should be punished for it. However, because Donald Trump said it, and I'm not a Trump supporter by any means, I think we made that clear.
God.
So no, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm playing devil's advocate because I read it and I was like, I was like, Trump, he's such an asshole, this and this. But then I went and I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute. They were like, come on, give me something, give me something.
Well, it might read as that, but the reality is, first of all, do I think that MSNBC would put this out in order to get some eyeballs on the town hall tonight? Absolutely.
1,000%.
There's definitely a publicity angle to that, and I think there's a lot of credibility to your argument. But there's a big issue with Republican candidates refusing to answer questions during debates and town halls. We covered a town hall yesterday. Ted Cruz dodged every single question Anderson Cooper asked him. Same with Trump. He answered some of the questions, but it's really difficult for anyone to get Trump to make specific statements.
Right.
He's very vague when he makes his statements.
Right.
So look, I'm very critical of Chris Matthews. So it's not like I'm running around giving Chris Matthews credit all the time. But do I blame him for asking as many follow-ups as he did and trying to get a specific answer from Trump? Absolutely.
And that's the thing. Like, listen, I appreciate you being polemic, but that's the thing. If you're going to be running to be our president, you better be prepared to answer these questions. You better be prepared to face journalists. And a lot of them have been playing, softball with him. So if they're not prepared to answer those hard questions, and if they don't know their policies, they have no business being up there in the first place.
And what he should have said is, if it is banned, first of all, I would not ban it, or like take a position on
take a position.
Yeah, take a position on it, which is exactly the point you're trying to make. But just for the sense of in black and white and what it is, he was baited into it. Chris Matthews was a bulldog with it, like he is. And everyone got the response that they wanted. Now, an extra million something people are going to be tuned in tonight just because of what happened today.
Yeah.